Level 1. The lab. You didn't expect your career to end up in a warehouse that smells like solvents and bad decisions. The building looks abandoned from the outside. Peeling paint, broken windows, a door that doesn't quite close. Inside, it's a chemistry lab, improvised but functional. Steel tables, glassware, industrial barrels labeled with things that are definitely not what's inside them. You're not a criminal, technically. You're a chemist. A good one. You studied organic chemistry. You understand synthesis pathways, reaction temperatures, purity levels. You just never expected to apply that knowledge. Here, a man walks in wearing sunglasses indoors, which is always a sign of either confidence or poor lighting. "Batch ready by tonight?" he asks. You nod. Of course. He doesn't ask how. He doesn't care. Your job is simple. Make product. Make it consistent. Make it strong. And most importantly, don't make mistakes. Level 2. The process. The work is precise. More precise than people expect. This isn't random mixing. It's controlled chemistry. Temperature control. Reaction timing. Purification. You monitor everything. The wrong temperature by even a few degrees can ruin a batch. Impurities are the real enemy. They reduce potency, create unpredictable effects, and more importantly, they create complaints. You've learned something important about this business. Quality control matters. A lot. Your assistant asks a question while measuring solvents. Does this ever feel strange to you? You glance at him. Only when I think about it. He nods. Yeah, best not to. You both return to work, because thinking too much is not part of the job description. Level 3. The reputation. After a few months, your batches become known. Consistent, reliable, strong. Your reputation spreads quietly. Within the organization, you become valuable. Very valuable. Which is good, and not good. Because valuable people are rewarded, but they're also expected to deliver. Every time. No exceptions. One of the supervisors tells you during a late-night visit, "You're not just making product." He taps the table. "You're maintaining the brand." You didn't realize the cartel had a brand, but apparently it does. Consistency builds trust, even in illegal markets, especially in illegal markets. Level 4. The pressure? Demand increases. Faster production, larger batches, shorter timelines. You adjust your process. Cut time where you can. Increase efficiency. Optimize steps. Your assistant looks nervous one night. "This is moving too fast," he says. You shake your head. "It's fine. You've done this before. You understand the reactions. You understand the margins. But deep down, you know something important. Speed introduces risk, and risk in chemistry tends to compound. Quietly. Level 5. The adjustment. The problem begins small. A supply issue. One of your regular chemical inputs doesn't arrive. Delayed, or lost, or seized. Nobody explains. They just tell you to improvise. You study the available materials. There's a substitute. Close enough. Similar structure. Similar properties. You've read about it. Never used it in production. But theoretically, it should work. You explain this to your assistant. He doesn't look convinced. "Should work?" he repeats. You nod. "Chemistry is predictable." He stares at you. "Is it?" You don't answer. Because chemistry is predictable. Until it isn't. Level 6. The batch. You begin the process, carefully, measuring everything twice, monitoring temperature, watching for irregularities. At first, everything looks normal. Reactions proceed. Color changes as expected. No visible issues. You relax slightly. Maybe this was fine. Maybe the substitute works. You complete the batch. Run basic tests. Purity looks acceptable, not perfect, but within range. Your assistant raises one concern. The reaction curve looked slightly different. You wave it off. Still within parameters. He nods slowly, not convinced, but not pushing further. Because at the end of the day, the product needs to move. Level 7. The distribution. The batch ships quickly, faster than usual. Demand is high. Always high. You move on to the next production cycle. New batch, new process. Routine returns. For about 2 days. Then the calls start. Not directly to you, but you hear about them. Complaints, users reacting differently. Unexpected effects. Stronger than expected. Unpredictable. Your assistant looks at you. This is from our batch. You don't respond immediately, because you're already thinking through the process. The substitute. The reaction difference. The slight deviation you ignored. You tell yourself something hopeful. Maybe it's just variation. Maybe it's unrelated. Then another report comes in. Then another. And now, you know. Level 8. The realization. You return to your notes. Re-examine everything. The substitute compound, the reaction pathway, the temperature curve, and then you see it. A minor difference. One step you assumed would behave the same, but didn't. The reaction produced a byproduct. Small amount, but potent. Very potent. Not part of the intended product, but not filtered out either. Your assistant watches you. "What is it?" he asks. You lean back slowly. "It's stronger than we thought." He frowns. "That's not a good thing, is it?" You shake your head. "No. In most industries, a stronger product is an improvement. In this industry, unpredictable strength is a liability." Level 9. The calls. The supervisors arrive, quickly. They don't usually visit in person, which is your first warning. One of them places a phone on the table, plays a voice message, a distributor complaining. Then another. Then another. The same theme every time. Something is wrong with the product. Too strong. Too inconsistent. Too many problems. The supervisor looks at you calmly. "What changed?" You explain the substitution, the delay in supplies, the process, the adjustments. He listens without interrupting, which is worse than being interrupted. When you finish, he nods once. "So you changed the formula." You correct him. "Slightly adjusted." He smiles. That's a nice way to say it. The room is very quiet. Level 10. The consequence. You spend the night rechecking everything, running tests, trying to understand how bad it is, how widespread, how much of the batch is affected. Your assistant finally asks the obvious question. "What happens now?" You don't answer immediately, because you already know. In legitimate industries, mistakes lead to recalls, investigations, policy changes. In this industry, mistakes lead to conversations. Very serious conversations. The door opens again. The same supervisor enters. No sunglasses this time, which somehow makes it more serious. He looks at the equipment, then at you. "Can you fix it?" he asks. You think carefully. "Future batches?" "Yes, this batch?" "No, it's already out there. Already distributed. Already used." You shake your head slowly. "Not this one." He nods, as if he expected that answer. Then he says something simple. "Come with me." You follow him outside. The night air feels different. Quieter. You notice things you didn't notice before. The sound of distant traffic. The hum of generators. The fact that this entire operation exists just out of sight of normal life. You realize something in that moment. Chemistry is predictable. People are not. You started as a chemist solving problems with precision, measuring reactions, controlling outcomes. But out here, one small change doesn't stay small. It spreads, it compounds, and eventually, the reaction you lose control of isn't in the lab. It's everything that happens after.